Okay, so I'm going to teach you how to bake some scones. So I've never baked scones like one time in my life, so yeah, we're going on this journey together, alright? So let's pull up a recipe. You're going to need 2 cups of all-purpose flour, 2½ teaspoons of baking powder, 1/2 teaspoon of salt, zest from 1 orange, 1/2 a cup of unsalted butter, frozen, 1/2 a cup of heavy cream, 1 large egg, 1/2 cup of granulated sugar, 1 teaspoon of vanilla extract, 1 heaping cup of frozen cranberries. Dried cranberries from a bag work as well. And optionally, you're going to want 1 tablespoon of heavy cream and of course sugar. For the glaze, you're going to want an orange, some heavy cream, and some powdered sugar. To start, you're just going to dump all your dry ingredients into a bowl. You got your flour, more flour, baking powder, salt. Next up, you're just going to zest your orange directly into this big heaping pile of dry ingredients. Zest thoroughly, as the orange zest is what gives the scone its flavor. Then just whisk all that together like a madman. Next up, you're going to want to grate your butter. So, as specified in the ingredients list, please freeze your butter before doing this. It makes the scone just work. It butters it up correctly. If you melt your butter, or even use cold butter, it won't turn out correctly. Just please, for the love of all that is holy, freeze your butter. Once you're done grating that, you're just going to need to incorporate it into your dry ingredients using a pastry cutter. You really should own a pastry cutter, because if you don't, you're going to have just an awful time trying to get that in with a fork. So yeah, you'll know that the butter is incorporated when it turns to about the consistency of cornstarch. In a separate bowl, start rounding up your wet ingredients. Start off with heavy cream, egg, sugar, and vanilla extract. Then just whisk all that together as well. Once this has been thoroughly whisked, you're just going to want to drizzle this over your dry ingredients. Once you've drizzled all the wet ingredients on, you're just going to want to mix this around using a rubber spatula. Once you got your dough all mixed up, you're just going to want to pour in all your cranberries. So the recipe calls for I think a cup. You don't have to do 1 cup. You can do less than that, because that's a lot of cranberries for the amount of dough that we're making. So you might want to at least have that, or like 3/4 if you really like cranberries. Next, you're gonna have to flour up your table, because we're about to form all this dough into a ball and then flatten it down. Make sure that your hands are thoroughly floured as well. Once you've gotten it to the thickness that you want, you're just gonna want to cut it into 8s. Then just grab your metal spatula and just scrape all these onto a little baking sheet lined with parchment paper. Once they're on the pan, give them a little wash with some cream and then coat them in some granulated sugar. These bad boys are going in the oven at 400 degrees. Oh, you probably should have preheated it, by the way. They should go in for about 20 minutes, but depending on how strong your oven is, you might want to go a little shorter. Next up, while those are baking, we're going to make the glaze, because only a disgusting troglodyte would eat some scones without some glaze. I didn't really measure any of this out, so just add some heavy cream, some powdered sugar, squeeze an orange in there, and then some vanilla extract, all that to taste. Once the glaze is ready, you just want to drizzle it over the freshly baked scones. And just like that, under the conditions that you didn't start a house fire, you've got a fresh plate of scones ready for the eating.